You've probably heard it 100 times. If you want to build wealth, start a side hustle. It's everywhere. Your social media feed, your favorite financial podcast, even your cousin who sells candles online. But what if the real secret to getting ahead isn't another side gig? What if the biggest financial move most people overlook is simply earning a promotion at their main job? Let's talk about why promotions matter more than side hustles, and by the end, you might see your 9 to 5 in a completely different light. For years, the internet has glamorized the idea of the side hustle. It sounds perfect. Make extra cash on your own time doing something you love. Drive for Uber, sell digital courses, flip sneakers, start an Etsy shop. And yes, some people turn small hustles into six-figure businesses, but statistically, that's the exception, not the rule. A 2023 LendingTree survey found that nearly 44% of Americans have a side hustle, but the average monthly income from those hustles? Just $483. That's before taxes, before costs, before burnout. Meanwhile, the average promotion in a mid-level corporate job can increase salary by 8 to 15% in a single jump. For a $70,000 a year employee, that's an extra $5,600 to $10,500 every year recurring. No late nights packaging orders, no extra tax paperwork, just more pay for the same number of hours. Now let's dig deeper. Why is chasing a promotion often more powerful and more sustainable than chasing a second job? First, promotions compound, just like investments. When you get one raise, your next raise builds on that higher base. Imagine you start at $60,000. You work hard, learn new skills, and land a promotion to $70,000. The next 5% raise isn't based on 60 anymore, it's based on 70. Over 10 years, that compounding difference can easily add up to $100,000 or more in extra earnings. Now compare that to most side hustles. They often plateau. You might make a few $100s a month, but unless you scale into a full business, the ceiling is low, and you're trading time for money every single hour. A promotion, on the other hand, increases your hourly rate without increasing your hours. That's leverage. That's scalability. Another reason promotions matter more, they unlock access. Higher roles often come with better benefits, stock options, performance bonuses, better health coverage, even retirement matching. A 2022 Fidelity report showed that employees earning over $100,000 a year contributed 3 times more to their 401ks than those earning under $50,000. That's not just because they can afford it, it's because their employers often match more or offer more lucrative plans at higher levels. So every step up the ladder doesn't just bring a raise, it brings stronger financial infrastructure around you. It's like moving from a 1-lane dirt road to a 4-lane highway. You can go faster, and the road itself supports your speed. Now let's talk about time, because time, not money, is the real currency of wealth. Most side hustles eat your evenings, your weekends, your mental space. You might earn that extra $400 a month, but lose your rest, your relationships, or your creativity. Think about it. If you spend 10 hours a week on a side gig that earns $400, that's $40 an hour, before taxes and costs. Not bad, but not game-changing. Now think about what would happen if you spent those same 10 hours a week sharpening your career skills, learning data analytics, managing bigger projects, or mentoring others. Those hours could lead to a $10,000 raise next year, and that raise pays you every year after that, even if you stop putting in those extra 10 hours. That's the magic of focusing on promotions. You're investing your time into something that keeps paying you back. And there's another layer people forget. Promotions build professional equity, the kind that follows you wherever you go. Every time you move up, you gain credibility, leadership experience, and a reputation for results. That doesn't disappear if you change jobs. In fact, it makes you more marketable. If you've ever looked at job postings, you've probably seen it. Employers love candidates who've been promoted internally. It signals growth, consistency, and trustworthiness. So every promotion you earn is like adding another line to your investment portfolio, except the returns come in the form of higher pay, better opportunities, and stronger job security. Let's do some math. Say you start at $60,000 salary. You skip side hustles and focus on your career. You average a 10% raise every 2 years through promotions and role changes. After 10 years, you're earning about $97,000. Now let's compare that to someone who keeps their salary flat at $60,000 but makes an extra $500 a month in a side hustle. Over those same 10 years, they'll earn about $60,000 plus $6,000 times 10, which is $120,000. Sounds nice until you realize the promoted worker earned $370,000 more in total salary over that decade, and they didn't have to work weekends to get it. That's the quiet power of promotions. They scale in ways side hustles rarely can. Now, let's be fair, side hustles aren't bad. They can be creative outlets, learning labs, or backup plans. Some even evolve into full-fledged businesses. But the key is understanding opportunity cost. If your side hustle distracts you from excelling at your main job, it might be costing you tens of thousands of dollars in missed promotions. That's not just lost income, that's lost momentum. Imagine you're a marketing analyst. You could spend your evenings freelancing social media gigs for a few $100s a month, or you could spend those same evenings mastering Google Analytics, learning campaign strategy, and volunteering for bigger projects at work. Which do you think will matter more when your manager looks for the next team lead? It's not even close. There's also psychology at play. Promotions tap into something deeper than money, recognition, and growth. When you get promoted, it's validation. It tells you that your work matters, that your skills are leveling up, that you're trusted with more. That kind of confidence compounds too. It spills into how you negotiate, how you communicate, how you build your professional network. And those soft skills, confidence, presence, leadership, become your career currency. You can't get that from a side hustle making crafts in your basement. Let's bring in some real-world examples. Take Sarah, a mid-level accountant at a manufacturing company. She was making around $68,000 a year. Instead of starting a side hustle like her friends, she invested her evenings in learning advanced Excel modeling and financial forecasting. Within 18 months, she led a major cost-saving project that caught the CFO's attention. She got promoted to senior accountant, $80,000 salary, plus a $5,000 annual bonus. That's an immediate $17,000 boost and a higher trajectory for every job after that. If she'd spent those 18 months running a small Etsy shop, she might have earned $3,000 to $4,000 total. The difference speaks for itself. Or consider Jason, a software engineer. He used to freelance on weekends, earning an extra $600 a month. After 2 years, he was burned out and stuck in the same position. He decided to stop freelancing and focus on becoming a tech lead. He started mentoring juniors, improving team workflows, and learning system design. A year later, promotion. His salary jumped from $95,000 to $125,000, a $30,000 leap. That's 5 years of side hustle income in one move. But here's where it gets really interesting. Promotions don't just raise your income, they raise your ceiling. Every time you move up, you're eligible for higher paying roles in the future. You expand your network, you get access to decision makers, you develop transferable skills. That's how senior managers and directors end up earning $150,000, $200,000 or more, not because they worked more hours, but because they worked smarter hours. Side hustles, in contrast, usually don't open doors to higher levels of earning unless you go all in and turn it into a full-fledged business, and that's a whole different risk. Now, let's talk about risk and stability. A steady promotion track provides predictable income growth. You can plan your life, your mortgage, your investments. You can take advantage of compounding in your 401k or index funds. You can qualify for better credit terms, lower insurance rates, and even higher lending limits. Side hustles? They're volatile. One algorithm change, one bad review, one lost client, and your income disappears overnight. According to Bankrate, nearly 1 in 3 side hustlers say their income fluctuates dramatically month to month. That makes it hard to budget or invest consistently, and financial stability is what builds real wealth, not sporadic bursts of cash. But maybe you're thinking, okay, but what if I hate my job? That's fair. Not every workplace inspires loyalty. And that's where the promotion mindset still helps. Even if you plan to leave, building skills and achievements where you are makes you more valuable wherever you go next. Promotions don't have to come from the same company. They can come from moving to a new company, but only if you've built the resume and skills to justify that higher title. So even if your current job isn't your dream job, treat it like training. Learn, grow, get results, and use that as your springboard. Let's not forget taxes. A side hustle means self-employment tax. You pay both the employer and employee portions of Social Security and Medicare. That's 15.3% off the top. Then you deal with quarterly filings, business deductions, and accounting headaches. A promotion, all handled by payroll, less paperwork, more net income, and often more pre-tax benefits that reduce your taxable income overall. It's the cleanest raise you'll ever get. Now let's talk about the emotional side. Burnout is real. The hustle culture tells us to work harder, sleep less, and monetize every hobby. But that's not sustainable. The truth is, working 60 hours a week across multiple gigs might boost your income short term, but it often drains the energy you need to perform well at your main job. And that performance is what gets you promoted. So ironically, chasing too many hustles can sabotage the one engine that could actually transform your finances long term. So how do you actually position yourself for promotion? It's not just about working harder, it's about working visibly and strategically. Make your wins known. Document your results, revenue you helped drive, costs you saved, projects you led. Build allies across teams. Ask for feedback regularly, and communicate upward. Let your leaders see your growth. A 2022 MIT Sloan study found that employees who actively share accomplishments with their managers are 31% more likely to be promoted within a year. That's not bragging, that's career management. And if your company doesn't offer growth, use your new skills to apply elsewhere. Job hopping every 2 to 3 years with clear advancement can raise your income faster than staying stagnant. The key is to keep moving up, not just around. Let's look at one more perspective: the wealth gap. In the US, the median household income in 2023 was about $74,000. But the median income for households led by someone with a management or professional role was $110,000. That's a $36,000 gap, and it's largely driven by promotions, not side hustles. Because higher positions don't just pay more salary, they come with better benefits, bonuses, and retirement contributions. Those add up over time and build generational wealth. So when we talk about financial freedom, we can't ignore the power of climbing inside the system, not just outside it. Here's the bottom line. Side hustles can be great supplements, creative outlets, or stepping stones. But for most people, the fastest, most reliable, and least risky way to increase income is to earn that next promotion. It compounds your salary, it expands your skills, it boosts your benefits, and it gives you something priceless: momentum. Because once you experience that upward movement, you start seeing your career like an asset, not a chore. You realize your main job isn't a trap, it's a platform. And the higher you climb, the more options you create for yourself. Maybe one day you do launch a business or a passion project, but you'll do it from a place of strength, not desperation. You'll have the savings, the experience, and the network to make it succeed. So before you spend another night grinding on a side gig, ask yourself, what would happen if I invested that same energy into becoming the best in my current role? What doors would that open a year from now? Because sometimes the biggest raise isn't outside your job. It's waiting right where you already are. If you found this perspective helpful, subscribe to Taz's Money for more insights on building wealth the smart way. Because financial freedom isn't always about adding more work. It's about making your work harder for you.